this episode of Rollin with Ray, you will meet the incredible Jeff Gibson. Jeff grew up in Dallas, Texas, and went to Dallas Carter High School. He played varsity basketball for 3 years and also earned all-state honors his senior year. He received a basketball scholarship to Western Texas College, where he received his associate's degree in science. He went on to Dallas Baptist University, where he received his bachelor's degree in science and kinesiology. In 2006, he was diagnosed with a heart disease. In 2017, he was a heart recipient. Jeff had a 30-year career for the Dallas Parks and Recreation Department as a recreation supervisor. He still currently works part-time for the city of Irving. Jeff will describe how he overcame his adversity. It's my honor and privilege to introduce you to Jeff Gibson, the Heart of Stone. Jeff, welcome to Rollin with Ray, and I'm glad to have you on the show finally.
Thank you, Mr. Serta. Glad to be here.
So, Jeff, can you tell me? I know that you went through many physicals throughout your high school and college days. Did at one time ever through your physicals ever get detected of anything abnormal with your heart?
Not one time, Ray. All throughout my high school, nothing. College, nothing. So later on in life, that's when I received the news that my heart condition was worsening.
Did you ever experience any symptoms? And if they were, when did you first experience something that you knew something was wrong?
Well, it all starts with high blood pressure, cholesterol. Around 2006, that's when I started getting high blood pressure. And for many, many years, didn't take medicine. So it just finally caught up with me.
Can you tell me, when you went to the doctor in 2006 and you're sitting there and you're talking to the doctor and the doctor's telling you you've been diagnosed with a heart condition, mm-hmm. How did you feel, or what can you explain to our viewers how that must have felt?
Well, I think it's just like for anyone that when you go in and you go with a medical team, they say, listen, you got to start exercising on a regular basis. You have to start taking medicine, and that's what I did. And still, my heart was weakening.
Can you tell me how many years the doctor gave you for your life expectancy had you not received a heart transplant?
Oh, I mean, when I went in to Baylor Hospital and they told me that I needed a new heart, it had to be done immediately. I don't think I would have lasted maybe 4 or 5 months.
That's amazing. And so they went ahead and put you on the transplant list, and
yeah, that was 2016. Fast forward from 2006. That before I went to Baylor, I was at another hospital, and I had received a defibrillator pacemaker. And from that point, 2017, that's when they said, "Hey, look, you need a heart."
Wow, that must have been devastating.
Devastating.
And especially to tell your wife, Lisa, right, and your son, Josh, how did they feel when you had told them that, bad news?
Being optimistic, the thing is that I wanted to live, and they wanted me to live. So at that point, they said I needed a thing called an LVAD. And that's a battery-assisted unit that goes into your stomach, and you receive battery, and it pumps your heart for you.
And then you had to wear that 24 hours a day.
24 hours a day. You change your battery every 16 hours, and you can do everything. But what I wanted to do was swim, because I'm a swimmer when I exercise. So I couldn't get in the water at that time. So but I could still lift weights and I could get on the treadmill. And I was just waiting. I held that for 9 months, and that's when the heart came alive. It said, "Hey, look, you can get a new heart."
Can you describe the process and the steps are when you are on that organ donor list, and then you get that call all of a sudden and says, "Jeff, we need you at the hospital as soon as possible"?
Well, I have a story for that, but to get to the question you asked me about, once you get that phone call, you got to be ready, and they prepare you. You got to have a bag in the car and ready to go. And my journey was a lot different from a lot of transplant patients. The first time they called me, the docs called me back before I even got in the car and said, "Look, we don't like this." And then the second time they called me, my blood level, my INR, INS was too high, and they sent me back home. So fast forward to the last time they called me, the third time they called me when I got the heart, my family were out of town on a journey. They were in Jamaica because they had called a couple of times, and I said, "Look, you guys can go ahead and leave." And I didn't think they were going to call, and all of a sudden, boom, they called.
So your family was out on I believe
Excursion.
An excursion.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They were on a cruise ship, my understanding.
Yeah.
And so the doctors had to do surgery right away to put the new heart in while your entire family was out of town.
They give you, the window I believe is 3 hours. So I'm living in Dallas, the Grand Prairie area, so I had no problem getting there. I had support, and that's another thing I like to talk about is support from your family, and that's a big thing. I had my mom and my brother, and I had cousins that lived in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so that wasn't a problem. The problem was we couldn't get in contact with my wife, and finally she called because my brother tried to call a couple of times, and finally they got in contact with her, and they said, "Look, once you get back home, you got a brand new man."
Right.
Yeah.
Can you describe your most difficult challenges when you first got that new heart transplant?
Wow. I think it's, just kind of getting used to a new heart, and the energy level, my energy level was high, and but I think I didn't have any challenges because, you stay in the hospital for about 2 weeks or a week and a half. They want to get you out of there, I started exercising through Baylor's training program. So it really wasn't a challenge for me.
So when they did the heart transplant, you were up within a matter of days already walking. Is that correct? Or did you have to lay in bed for a week or so? Or can you explain that process?
Yeah, I laid in bed for maybe about 3 or 4 days, and then that's when they want to get you up going. And mobility is important. So with the physical therapist, and it took me about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and then I was out of there.
How long is the recovery? Once you get that heart, I know you've already talked about. You really didn't because you've always been an athlete and you've always worked hard.
Right.
But how long is that recovery? Is it ongoing? I know you got to do physical activity every day. You got to exercise in order to keep that healthily going.
Right. Well, I was on being an athlete, I was on a regimen of at least 3 times a week, swimming and walking and lifting weights. But at first I didn't take it, so I wasn't lifting all the hard weights, and I was just taking my time, and then all of a sudden, you start building up to that. But it's a journey, and I'm still on that journey.
Can you tell our audience about the importance of organ giving?
Well, yeah, it's very important, being a recipient. to sign the back of that license is very important, and I would hope and pray that people think about doing that and move forward in doing that.
That's unbelievable. I mean, that you're here alive and
Right.
your expectancy level now for is many years.
Oh yeah, it gives you a second chance in life, and that's what you want. A lot of heart transplant patients, they worry, because you're taking somebody else's organ, and a lot reach out to the organ donors, So it's important. It's very important.
Jeff, I know this is important to you because you're the type of person that always gives back. And what do you tell others that are on that organ transplant list? What kind of advice do you give these people?
Well, the positive mindset is very important. Some get depressed. They on the transplant list. I don't know. It took me 9 months. Takes others, a little bit longer. But never give up. If you're on that list, you're gonna get a phone call.
Jeff, how do you measure success in life?
Wow. Well, to me at this point, it's just giving back, man. I've always, been that type of person, but even now, just going volunteering at Baylor, just being a tunnel, for people that are on that transplant list.
Mm-hmm. Where do you see Jeff Gibson 10 years from now?
Doing a podcast. No, my son just graduated from University of Houston, and just to see him be successful and the family just growing, man, and staying solid. And that's why I see Jeff Gibson. Retired. I'm right. Already retired.
Right.
So that's another thing that gives you a lot of time to. I know one person that's had a transplant and going right back to work.
Wow.
So the energy level is sky high. But back to that question, I just see me being a giver.
For the audience that don't know this, you put in 30 years for the City of Parks and Recreation, the City of Dallas,
Right.
as a recreation supervisor. What do you tell all your colleagues out there that are watching this show and they hadn't seen you since you retired? What advice can you tell them?
I'm alive. But no, I just, all my colleagues, man, we keep in contact. The people at Dallas Parks and Rec, and the ones that I've touched, they know that things are fine. And it was, at one point, it's kind of scary when you find out you're sick, and when other people find out that you're sick. So I'm alive. So call me.
Well, you have done really well for yourself, Jeff, and you look amazing. Can you share one thing about yourself that our audience or myself don't know about you?
I'm a fighter, and getting this second chance of life, man, it's incredible, and never give up. You know that. Stay positive, and I think that's one of the things that people don't realize, that you have to stay positive in this world.
Absolutely. Well, Jeff, that's all the time that we have today. Are there any other questions that you have for me, or any other questions that you can think of? Or
Well, yeah, I'd like to give a shout out.
Sure, go ahead.
I know that you spoke about Carter, so give a shout out to all the Carter alumni and my Dallas Baptist people, family, wife Lisa, you mentioned Joshua, Irving Parks and Recreation. We got a new guy at the helm that took your place.
Correct.
Joe Moses.
Absolutely.
That's my shout out.
Well, thank you for watching and listening to this episode of Rolling with Ray. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, on Facebook, and of course on my channel, my YouTube channel called Rolling with Ray. Make sure to like, subscribe, and pass it forward to others. Also, if you're looking for a good book to read, don't hesitate to pick up my book here called The Life I Didn't Expect, Facing Adversity and Winning. The book is on Amazon. Until I see you again, keep rolling with Ray.